All right. Last question for part 3 here is from SpaySpay. SpaySpay says, does Mike like the name that I coined for us fans, which is Crockheads?
Crockheads.
Yeah. You like that or no? Like
Sure.
we have the Docaholics and I don't think there's anything for Harper or me, but if you're a Docaholic, there's Docaholics.
Is this the famous SpaySpay, by the way, from YouTube?
That would be him. Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. Good guy.
Crockheads. I mean, I guess it's better than Crocksuckers.
No, somebody's going to say that. We're the Crocksuckers.
I mean, we talked about what is it, SWAC or SWAC, and people seem to like my guess as to what SWAC stood for.
Yeah, that was pathetic, but it was funny.
I don't remember what it was now as we sit here. That was a couple weeks ago.
But do you like Crockheads?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So there you go, SpaySpay. He likes the term Crockheads. I guess it's good. It's different. It's not.
Do you have one
for the Crockett Maniacs?
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of one. All right. Anything else, Crockett? Before you send the Crockheads off into their merry way, as SpaySpay calls them, the Crockheads. SpaySpay's got a music question for you, Doc. I know you like Danzig, but do you also like Glenn Danzig's first 2 bands, The Misfits and Samhain?
Wait, what was that second one?
Am I not saying that right? Please say it for me.
No.
How do you say it?
It's like a Irish or
Okay, just fucking pronounce it then how it said then, because you're correcting me.
Wayne.
Okay, whatever you just said, I'm gonna do a Harper.
It's
do you think Harper knows how to pronounce that?
No. It's a Gaelic. I think it's a Gaelic word or something.
Great. Sure.
And
sure.
Well, I'm not trying to. It's not like I drove over to your house and said, "Let me talk about Glenn Danzig here." I'm trying to respond to this question.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
It was the precursor to Danzig.
All right.
It's like Samhain, I think. It is the Irish month of November in pre-Christian Celtic festival, the origin of the modern Halloween. Despite it being pronounced Samhain, the band's name is often pronounced Samhain. Glenn Danzig has said that both pronunciations are correct.
Did I say Samhain?
Yes.
I thought I've heard it pronounced that way before.
I've not spent a lot of time with Samhain. I like the Misfits. Kind of the Misfits recordings are really, really, really amateur sounding, so it's really hard to hear. There's, Where Eagles Dare, and some of those songs are pretty awesome. I mean, I don't love Danzig. I like the first couple of records. I'm not sitting there celebrating the whole catalog. That's all. I mean, it's good stuff, pal. You should get into it today when we hang up.
He did. Okay, I was just rereading the question. So you do also like the first 2 bands, Misfits.
I just mentioned that. I just talked about that while you were reading.
No, that's why I'm making sure. I'm just making sure you answer
I feel like I've covered it.
SpaySpay loves him some Doc. He's a very committed listener. He's always commenting on
Doc
YouTube.
Loves him some SpaySpay. How about that?
He comments on YouTube weekly. So thank you, SpaySpay, and thank you for subscribing on YouTube and all that good stuff. I just want to make sure you answer SpaySpay's question.
I did, and if I didn't get it all, I apologize to all of my fans, including SpaySpay. But I feel like I did. I have positive feelings towards Glenn Danzig's music, but not like he's my favorite.
Gotcha. All right, next question. SpaySpay wants to know, Harper, do you still have any WWF LJNs? And please tell us about the first time you got some vagina PUSSY. Head sex. Love SpaySpay.
Yeah, I still got a bunch of them.
Still got a bunch of LJNs?
Dude, people give them to me at the shows.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have one.
Right now, I got Hercules and Tito Santana in my back seat that's been sitting back there forever.
Just collecting New Orleans heat, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I used to get those off the clearance rack because they were good. Because be honest, they weren't cheap. They were fucking almost like $10. So the only ones I would get would be the ones on clearance. Would be, I guess, like the ones from the previous year. So there'll be a bunch of like Jesse Ventura's and maybe Jimmy Hart's. But yeah, dude, we had all them little guys.
When you say
thumb wrestlers.
When you say you used to get them and they weren't cheap, you mean when they originally came out, right?
Right, dude. They were like $6.99 or something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the only ones I got was when they would make the clearance rack. So probably most of those, like you would get a guy like I had the Terry Funk one. I had the Terry Funk because remember he was in the WWE for just a little bit back then, and he came with the hat and a Brandon iron, and I was like, when the hell was Terry Funk in the WWF? What the hell? It was ones like that, and it was a bunch of the Colonel Kurowski guy or whatever his name was, or a Corporal whatever
Kirshner.
Yeah. The Sergeant Slaughter, dollar store Sergeant Slaughter guy. He was always on the clearance rack. I had him. Greg Valentine, Beefcake, Hillbilly Jim, Big John Studd. Hogan was never. He was never there because he would be the first one to get bought up. I forget who else I had, like from back then. Oh, I had Steel.
Did it have a green tongue?
Yeah. And my dog chewed up like fucking 2 or 3 of those damn things.
Really?
Because I mean, yeah, because that's what people call them now. The WWF fucking dog toys. Because they were just big pieces of fucking rubber.
That was the thing that I remember the most about them was they were so heavy. If you think about them compared to like any other figure during that time, I mean, if you chunk that shit at somebody's head, you could take an eye out, give them a black eye. I mean, that sucker carried some weight if you chunked it at somebody.
But they weren't supposed to be that big.
Yeah, I forgot the story on that. But what is it?
Yeah, because I watched it. They got the toys that made us on Netflix. It's on there. What those were the ones. They were like the prototypes to show to the toy companies or whatever. This is what they're gonna look like, and they're supposed to be, I guess, about as big as a He-Man figure. And they were like, "Oh, dude, we like those. They're real big and everything." Like, fuck. I guess we're stuck with these real big ones, and that's why they were so fucking expensive. And that paint would come off in 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. The paint was like just wear off completely instantly. What's that?
Yeah.
Imagine having enough free time to watch something called The Toys That Made Us.
Dude, watch it, dude. It's very interesting.
I don't doubt that, but who has that kind of free time?
Fucking
I got a free night.
You're the man of that castle. I want you to just go into. As soon as you take the headphones off, I want you to walk into the fucking den and rip the fucking controller up and just look at them and don't say one word. And then
I'm gonna watch baseball when that happens. When I get out of here. And okay, that doesn't work. I think we told you this last night.
It's very, very interesting.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, he believes you. He believes you. He what he's trying to do is politely say he doesn't have time for all that, and you're lucky. Or not you're lucky, but you obviously have a lot of time for all that.
Yeah, I like the Transformers one. How they started in Japan, and they were gonna. You see, when they first made the Transformers, they were in Japan, but there was no character to them. It was just Optimus Prime was just fucking truck bot. There was no cartoon. There was no Autobots or Decepticons. They didn't have names. They were just toy fucking robots to turn into fucking cars. Fuck you. And then when they're going to sell them here, they said, look, dude, we got to get it. Like, there's got to be a story involved in this, in a cartoon and everything else, because that's when I was the formula, because fucking He-Man started that with the cartoon and everything. And I think it was, they like gave it to Marvel and just said, here, do something. And that's when they came up with the Autobots and the Decepticons. They're from Cybertron. This guy's Megatron. That's Optimus Prime, and this is the problem, and yada, yada. And they're the ones who thought up the whole the whole story.
Is this the part where I point out that you used to make fun of our listeners for not growing up and playing
Here's
with
the
toys?
thing. I can watch it. I'm not buying them. I'm not doing none of that shit.
Okay, don't get mad at me. I'm trying to.
I like to reminisce about it. I can't. This is what I realized a long time ago. We can't relive our.
You can't go
youth.
back. You can't go back.
You can't go back. You could do a fucking reenactment, but you can't go back. It's like the Civil War reenactments. It's
What?
not real.
Well, I would hope it's. Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be real, but yeah, sure, I got you.
And the thing is, bro, I was at one of them fuck wrestle cake, one of them things, and one of them Comic Cons, and this dude had the little G.I. Joe. It's called the Slugger. It was a self-propelled artillery that came out in '84, and it was cheap. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that. It was something cheap. I bought it. It sat on a bookshelf, and I'm like, the fuck am I gonna do with this thing? Because it was cool to look at for like a week. Then you realize I got this fucking toy sitting there. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with this fucking thing? It's just, I was like,
When
no.
you have all the money, you don't have the desire. When you have all the desire, you don't have all the money.
Yeah, it's just, I remember it was around COVID. Hasbro came out with all those retro G.I. Joe shit, right? I'm like, dude, this looks so fucking cool. They look just like when I was a kid. And I saw them, I was like, dude, I gotta buy these, bro. This looks fucking. It was the box art and everything was the same. I saw them at Walmart. I'm like, dude, I ain't paying $30 for the fucking, the fucking his tank. I'm gonna wait till it gets cheaper. And it went down to 20. I'm like, no, and it got down to 10. I was like, I'm not. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this, bro? The fuck am I gonna do with this?
You know what Mike and I do at that point? We go into our online mortgage account and model what paying that extra $30 would do to reduce the amount of overall payments on our mortgage.
But you see, the one, I guess you can call them toys that I want to buy them, but I don't trust myself because I know it's going to happen. I'm going to be like fucking D-Man. Are those fucking starting lineup figures from when we were kids that were like the football players, the baseball players? But yeah, I'm afraid to like get guys from like my childhood, like the Joe Montana or the Dale Murphys or the baseball heroes from when I was a kid. I'm afraid because it's going to start something.
I have 3 of them from when I was a kid, Harper.
I got 2. I still got Ruben Mays, Dalton Hilliard, and Joe Montana.
Oh wow. I have no clue how I ended up with these 3. I have no recollection of it. I remember having them when I was young. I just don't know what the occasion was because I wasn't getting shit just walking through the store. It had to be
It was probably
birthday,
your birthday,
Christmas,
or
or some.
Christmas.
Yeah, it's the only time, but I just don't remember which one. Anyway, I have Bobby Abear, who's in the worst stupid pose of all time. He's taking a snap. It's just.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll send a picture of it to you. I have him. Then I have Elway when he was with the Broncos with the orange jersey, and I have Dexter Manley. Actually, I can't find Dexter Manley. I don't know what happened to him, but I had him for many years. But
I wonder if they made more than one Bobby Abear. Probably just one.
I don't know. But he's in the worst pose of all time. I'm like, who would have?
Yeah, like it's going to take a shit.
Yeah. But you know what I got into like in the mid 2000s? They had those what were they? McFarlane NFL figures?
Yeah.
Like,
you're right.
Okay, I got into that at one point. And I'm not going to sit there and tell you I have 100 of them, but I probably got about 25 of those.
Well, those must take up space, huh?
I got, yeah. I mean, I say 25. It's probably closer to 20 or so. I'll send a picture of the ones I have, but yeah, I got into those at one point. I just thought they were really cool. And to be honest, they weren't
detailed.
They weren't a ton of money either. Like at that point, to me, they weren't. Like it wasn't like I was spending. Put it like this: if you adjusted for inflation, them old LJNs that SpaySpay's asking about cost more than these did.
Oh yeah,
in the mid 2000s, if that makes sense. So it wasn't like I was working. It wasn't like So I got into those, and like you said, they are very detailed, very very detailed. But I have several of those that I like. Anyway, yeah, man, good stuff. All right, that was a long answer for. Oh, you didn't answer. Please tell us about the first time you got some. Some.
I mean, what do you want me to tell you? First sexual experience.
Yes,
that's what he asked.
I don't know.
You gotta tell him.
Do I?
You have to.
Were you like 12?
That's the contract.
Were you like 12 or something?
No, I was in high school.
Okay, that's a wide range.
I'm sure she's someone else's fucking problem now. Okay. But you know what I was thinking about? How like back in the day, you just break up with someone and this shit was over with. You just don't call them anymore, and they don't call you. Fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
Nowadays, you're stalking them on social media. Oh, what's he doing there? What's she doing? Who's that motherfucker? You can't move on from these motherfuckers like you did back then.
You can, but you got to have self-discipline. You got to block them and just move on.
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
That's a problem I haven't had to deal with because my relationship predates
since like the Clinton administration.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, like, yeah, I haven't had that issue.
So yeah, I mean,
So do you remember her? Do you remember her name?
Okay, he didn't ask the name of the girl. He just said, "Tell us about the first time."
The
very
first
first
sexual encounter that I had. No, I don't.
You don't remember the chick's name?
I don't fucking remember this fucking girl.
Okay.
It was in an airplane hangar at fucking Belichase Naval Base.
Was it really?
Yeah, I told that story before.
Don't know if you've told it on this show because I would remember it. What, right, Doc?
I think I would remember that too.
Yeah, I was an ROTC in fucking high school. I was a ROTC kid.
So this was in the middle of the school day?
It was. We were doing some volunteer shit for like maybe the air show or something like that.
That's nice. You're volunteering for the military.
Yeah.
And you're busy
Thank you for your service.
Okay. So
hey, I got needs, bro.
No.
She wouldn't leave me alone, dude. She wouldn't leave me the fuck alone.
All right.
And she kept calling the house. And my mom's like, that girl keeps calling. You should talk to her. I was like, no. I'm not calling. No, leave me the fuck. I was like, I'm going to fucking Joe's house to listen to fucking Megadeth CDs or whatever. I'm going to fucking do this or that.
Mom, she's got a stinky bush. I can't talk to her.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I was like 16.
Okay,
Shit happens.
I'm not mad at you,
Yeah.
but I was getting this question was later on down, but it must be asked because it kind of bleeds into what SpaySpay is asking here. Like button on the video and make sure you type multiple comments 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter. Please do it. We love that. Those algorithms love that type of stuff. And lastly, it definitely makes Harper very happy and it helps the channel grow. See
So I
all
can
you
do
out there.
multiple comments,
Yeah, you can put as many as you want.
and that helps.
I mean, Matt Wilson's out there. Matt Wilson, David Ford, and God, I'm going to forget names now. They're all out there putting 3, 4, 5, 6 SpaySpay. Like there's one of the episodes a few weeks ago had like 70 comments.
What?
Because the discussion just kept going on and on. So sure, we love all those comments. Keep making them. It
I'm
helps.
going to add to it to fucking get it going.
Yeah. Just don't piss anybody off. Yeah. There you go. Also, so after you post plenty of comments, SpaySpay, I see you out there. You posted like 30 on one of them. His name's SpaySpay. He posted like 30 of them. I was like, good job, dude. That's what I'm talking
Look,
about.
he's doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job. 4th, 1993. Once again, as always, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the like button on the video. And lastly, type multiple comments. Type 4, type 5, type 6. I see you, SpaySpay. You typed like 60 of them. With what you liked or didn't like about the episode, it helps the channel grow and it helps out the YouTube numbers, all that good stuff. So thank you very much for doing that. Bothered with. As I say that, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. But more than anything, make sure you sub and make sure you type a comment or two of what you liked or didn't like about the episode. It does help the channel grow. I got to say, SpaySpay, you're out there. I can't keep up with all your comments. I'm not complaining, but there's so many of them, I can't keep up with them. But thank you for your comments, SpaySpay. Everybody else, keep the comments coming. Trust me, it helps.
Mike, you got a question, Mike. I'm skipping. Let's go right to the question, Mike.
Yeah, you about to get ahead,
I'm
but that's
effing
okay.
I'm effing up the whole beginning.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We got a listener question from SpaySpay. SpaySpay says, hey, Lance, this was an interesting question, I have to say. I sent it to you, and I was like, it's very interesting. I would never think of this, but I can see why, if you're talking about territory wrestling, this would be a question someone would ask. So SpaySpay says, hey, Lance, recently Cornette talked about how back in the day, fans would take their tickets and dip them in blood left on the mat as a souvenir. Do you have any WCCW mementos with fucking blood on them? I'm just reading it verbatim, everyone. Whose goddamn blood was it, if so? Thanks. Love, SpaySpay. So, Lance, you know, he's asking you if you've got WC world-class stuff with blood on it and whose blood was it. But if you don't, man, I'm curious of any nasty souvenirs you can think of as someone who was a world-class Sportatorium regular.
It's absolutely wasn't shocking, the question. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, that's people have got that's not crazy at all. I do not have any blood on any programs or tickets. I do have the Botswanian Beast bloody fork that I just a couple of years ago I put into a baggie. It had been just there in the pictures and everything and all that. I don't know why I have that, but anyway, dropped it in front of me and I picked it up one night at the Sportatorium. And let me just, first of all, let me just say the blood was seen a lot differently back, before say 86, and it really was AIDS. And so 86, 87, I was an athletic trainer, at SMU in the fall of 88. And, I didn't wear gloves or anything. Blood became, a little different going into the 90s and stuff like that. People were more educated about blood, and, it's pretty crazy. I could sit and watch somebody get stitches or something like that, blood and everything. And now as an old man, I'm kind of like, I don't know what the hell happened as I got older, but I was around a lot of blood. At the Fair Park show, I remember distinctly my sister said that man just reached down and touched the drip of blood from Ric Flair. And another guy got on him, said, what are you doing? And everything. The guy was, checking it out to see if it was real. I did check on a couple of friends of mine to see if they had any gross stories today. They didn't really come up with anything good. I mean, I remember the girls kissing the guys and passing phone numbers. That did happen. And I remember a guy at the end of the night at the sportatorium going around pouring all his beer cups into one beer. Man, he got pissed off when it was a cigarette butt in there, and drinking that nasty beer like that.
That
I
is
never talk bad about.
disgusting. When you told me that via text, I wanted to tell you. Since you said that, I was like, that is freaking gross. Oh God, go ahead, continue.
The beer. Let me see. I had one more. I had a couple more. I never worried about the food, even though I definitely got food poisoning twice off the hot dogs and stuff. I ate a ton of fries and a ton of hot dogs. You're not going to get that sick on a raw potato, but a hot dog, you can get pretty sick. And twice I got it and stuff. But I was just sitting on the front row eating everything I could. It's just a freaking carnival every single week. The one I told Mike a while ago is, how many times do you think Fever Blisters kissed Bobby and Tommy? That's what's gross. That's sick to think about. But I'm sure it man, that's the grossest. But I wasn't shocked by the blood question, because it was bloody, and it was completely different world back then. So yeah, people putting a ticket in the blood it doesn't sound surprising. The Texas Stadium, I've got the mud on it from the mud match. I've got mud on my on the program, but yeah, no blood on any of the other programs and stuff. That's funny for me, or on my tickets or anything like that. I probably wouldn't have done something like that anyways. I was a little older, but absolutely, I can see people doing it. It doesn't shock me at all. And I just, that when they said that question, it seemed familiar. Like I've heard that before, or I saw it. So yeah, crazy, but it was a different time, and we just didn't, blood was seen differently. I just, it was that 86, 87 when, AIDS started coming out, that it, really people started thinking about blood.
Yeah, I totally agree. AIDS, well, I guess, yeah, it was mainly AIDS, but I mean, in fairness, now you think of other bloodborne illnesses, it's like, probably wasn't the best thing to be blading every night and rolling around on dirty canvases.
No, you know all that other stuff, things it wasn't long before we all learned that, this is not cool. Blood is nasty and all that. But at this time we didn't, we just, whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there was a time when we didn't even think about it, but good question. Thank you for sending it in.
I was taping ankles and working on people's blisters in the training room, and stuff like that. We didn't have any gloves or nothing. Drill a toenail to get the blood out from underneath it, things like that. Yeah, that kind of shit, goes on, and we weren't thinking about it at all.
I love it. Insane. Well, thank you, SpaySpay. We got this question here from SpaySpay, and it was a good one. I think I know the answer to this, because I feel like you've talked to me maybe offline about it before. But Lance, what is the I'm going to read the quote from him.
His language.
My God, the language here. Like this show doesn't use bad language.
Taken back.
I'm kidding. No, it's a joke, SpaySpay. Lance, what is the motherfucking best piece of wrestling memorabilia that you own? Please proceed, Lance. I think a lot of people would love to know this.
Okay, I'm not gonna. My pictures are kind of on its own level. They mean the most to me, because my pictures, you can kind of grab what's going on and also see around it. I crop a little bit on the pictures on Twitter, but not much, just to make it a little more clear. But I really like, you get the whole atmosphere in my pictures, so they're kind of if you don't count the pictures, I'm going to go to other things. Okay, and the number one thing would be that picture of Kerry with the NWA belt coming into the ring. It's May 11th, Friday night, May 11th, when he fought Flair at the Sportatorium. It was non-title. Kerry won with a different kind of backslide than what he won the title with. That picture was this lady that was sold tickets at the Sportatorium, who ended up being my source for getting all the front rows later in my going at late 88, 89, 90, where I was sitting front row all the time. But she had that picture at her house of Kerry with the belt. Kerry took the belt off really fast that night. He got to the ring, took his robe off, took that belt off, and the cameras missed it. And unless you're right there, she just took the best picture. And I've put it online about 1 billion times since 2011. And she had that at her house, and I always just like, holy cow, that just captures the moment. You can see the crowd in the background. And so when Kerry killed himself, she just couldn't handle it. She just didn't want it up at her house. It just hurt her so bad. She had literally watched him grow up in person in the locker room, being that close and being a ticket lady. I mean, she'd always say, my baby cake's talking about Kerry, I clear as day. So when she died, she gave that to me kind of to hold. She didn't know, she really say here. Anyways, I had it for all these years. I never put it up on the wall or anything, but I always, if I had it, I was like, man, that picture is just so great. And then about, 10 to 15 years ago, I took it and had it retouched by a photographer. Now they cropped it a little more, and it's a little more slick. You kind of miss out on the feel of it because the feel of the actual picture really looks, early 80s. And I really like it a lot. She took that picture on May 11th. Then I believe it's February 20th of 1986. Before I knew the lady, but I've seen it on TV. She's holding that picture up in person at the matches and stuff. And then that night of the matches, February 20th, the first, of course, a lot of you know that week is the week that Rick Rude was proclaimed the world-class world champion. I know y'all know that, but they did a talk show after the matches that night for just a local talk show. They put Von Erichs in the ring and Fritz, and they did a talk show on Friday night after the matches, and it aired actually that Sunday night here locally. And it's now on online. It's called the Ed Bush Talk Show, and you can see it online. I've got a few pictures from that night that somebody else took. I shook Fritz's hand. It was a big deal to me at the time. I reached up, shook his hand. I didn't have a camera with me. It seemed like I didn't take a camera enough in those days of Sportorium. But on the footage of that night from the matches, you can see my friend Doris holding that sign up in the air, and she had Kerry sign it in the locker room that night, just with a big pen, and it says it right across his chest in that picture to Doris, and everything, Kerry Von Erich. When I had it retouched, they took that off there, so it'd be a little more slick. And I've given that picture out to a few people, a few hardcore Von Erich fans and stuff like that. But of course, I still have the regular. And I think if I ever was to put it up in some kind of office or whatever, I would put up the original because it just looks really cool to me. It captures the time. A couple honorable mentions. I have a piece of the Sportatorium, just a little 6x6 piece of the metal, and signed by Akbar that I had signed one time at a small fan get together. That's a big deal to me. And, I have 4 chairs from the Sportatorium. When we're watching the TV, you're seeing people sitting on rows, on benches, but behind that is the box seats that weren't anything extravagant, and they have these little chairs in it. There was also a few of those around ringside. We see them through the years when me and Mike follow these shows, and I have 4 of those chairs. So I kind of, I have a real piece of the Sportatorium, those chairs. Not that, they're out in storage right now. One time I thought, I'll fix up my garage and maybe hang them on the wall or something, but I haven't done any of that shit. And I'm getting a little late in life to do some of that stuff. We considered, some of my programs and everything putting out there for sale or something. I'm just not in any hurry to do it. And I know Dave Miller's hearing me say that. He knows I know a program he wants really bad, and I hate to break up the set when I've got those 17 of 18 Reunion Arena shows. That I just need one more to fill that collection, but I don't really actively seek anything. But that picture of Kerry, and nothing. People ask me about prices and what something's worth, and I say if it's worth it to you, it's pretty cool. I know how cool certain memorabilia that people buy, and they show me. None of it is outside of the wrestling world probably means that much to anybody, but I appreciate all that memorabilia and stuff. And that picture of Kerry that I have now, it just means the most to me because, my favorite guy defending the world title or having the world title belt at his home arena. And it just didn't happen every day back in the day. You just can't imagine, it wasn't like, you didn't have that in Mid-South. And not putting it down, just saying, you didn't see a world title, JYD come in with the NWA title or something like that. The king of the local territory gets that NWA belt. And I talk about it that way with such reverence because that's what I mean. We talked about the NWA championship and how important it seemed at the time. And, I still feel that way, that Kerry got to come into his home territory. He defended against Terry Gordy on the Monday night after winning it in May, and then got to fight Flair Friday night. It was non-title. Kerry got the pin, though. So that's that's what it is. Again, those pictures that I have, mean so much to me. The pictures of Brody and stuff that I think are so special, and I'm hoping to do something about a year from now with those pictures of Brody that I've mentioned to a couple of people that I kind of keeping quiet right now, but hopefully in about a year, I'm going to do something with those pictures of Brody. And that's about all, man.
So there you go. Thank you, SpaySpay, for the question. Appreciate it. And I don't know if anybody's ever asked that on the show before, so we appreciate it. On YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on the video. It helps the channel grow. Type a comment or 2 or 3 or 4 with what you liked or didn't like about the episode. I can tell you, it does help the channel grow. I try to go through all the comments. I don't get to all of them, but I try. I see Matt Wilson out there doing some work. SpaySpay's out there doing some work. David Ford's out there doing some work on the YouTube channel. All right. Well, this next question is very unprofessional, so I'm going to ask it. Rick, real quick, though, Rick, thanks for all you do on the ECW show. It is appreciated, and you are a wizard when it comes to ECW history. I really enjoyed doing the ECW show with you a couple years ago where we talked about ECW, and we did the live stream for it feels like we went almost 3 hours that night, but it was good stuff. So thanks for all you do, Rick, and you are a wizard. Let's go to this question from our buddy SpaySpay. Jesus, SpaySpay. Lance, pardon me if this has been touched on before, but have you ever mother effing known any world-class fan, male or female, to have crotched, effed, or given oral to a world-class wrestler? Thank you. Love, SpaySpay. I don't know if this is a serious question or not, but I figured I'd ask it.
I know a girl who got into Gentleman Jim Holiday's van.
Okay.
And I know girls were able to, got into The Simpsons, and I remember, seeing some party things in their ashtray one time. So, I that later on, I nothing during the heyday. Do I know that? But I do know, that's about as far as I could go on that is what I know. So, but, I'm sure it was happening, all kinds of fun was happening out there, probably with some of the lesser knowns. I don't think the Von Erichs were picking up tail right there in the parking lot, but they certainly could have. But I don't, they get it anywhere they go.
Yeah.
So that's all I know. And really, we talk about it. Kevin's married and right there, and his wife's right. He'd been married for a long time. The one that would be doing it, I guess, is Carrie mostly. I mean, David. David's not Mr. Sex Symbol, and stuff. I think sometimes they, rope them all in. Everybody was just frantic when they came out, and it looks like that. But mostly you see them hugging and kissing on Carrie the most. Kevin, they knew Kevin was married, and Carrie was married in the middle of '83. And but no doubt, they were before that. Some of those house shows, Carrie was probably tagging it all. I mean,
nice.
Come on, you own the territory, own the world. You're living the life. So. Yeah, nothing would surprise me, but that's only know somebody who got in Gentleman Jim Holiday's van. Probably, I guess that was probably late '87.
Jesus,
I think that guy's still alive. I think he runs a bowling alley in Florida or somewhere. Oh no, he's a DJ. That's right, he DJs parties. Gentleman Jim Holiday.
That's nice.
That's what he does.
All right.
Well, you got to answer the question the way the question is put. So I kind of.
No disagreement.